Time for sports news on the news at 10 with Kayode Alayode.
Welcome to Sports News. World number one Ashley Barty puts two previous Australian final losses behind her to lift her first trophy on home soil, an 8th overall with a 6-2-7-5 win over Diana Yastremska in 1 hour and 26 minutes. Barty had been twice a runner-up in Sydney, losing to Angelique Kerber in 2018 and to Petra Kvitova in a heartbreaking encounter in 2019. She rose to the occasion to become the first Australian to win a title at home since Jamila Wolf became the Hobart champion in 2011. She's also the first home winner of the Premier Trophy or equivalent since Alicia Molik won Sydney in 2005. This victory was her second in the series after beating Yastremska on the way to the Miami title in March 2019. Staying with tennis, Australian Open top seed Rafael Nadal says he is surprised to be at the summit of the men's game, given his long and varied history of injuries. Enjoying a rare period of full fitness, Nadal is bidding for his second title in his 15th appearance at the Melbourne Park, as well as the added incentive of matching Roger Federer's all-time record of 20 Grand Slam titles. The 33-year-old now has a chance to hold 3 out of the 4 Grand Slam titles after winning the French and US Opens last year.
Well, I can't say I have been lucky with the injuries because I have not. Well, there is no secret nowadays. Only about passion, about love for the game, and about be able to stay positive in the tough moments. No? It's true that I went through some tough situations during all my career, but I was able to always with probably a positive attitude and with the right people around that they were key. I was able to find a way.
Back home, the Nigeria Cricket Federation, NCF, has included Sylvester Okpe and Sulaiman Runshewe in the final 14-man team for the Africa Cricket Association Cup, holding in Kenya from March the 20th down to the 28th. Incidentally, the duo of Okpe and Runshewe are leading the Junior Yellow Greens to its maiden outing at the Under-19 World Cup in South Africa. Okwe, who is the captain of the Under-19, is expected to be in action when Nigeria opens its campaign on Monday against Australia. Familiar members of the team include Dotun Olatunji, Sheson Adedeji, Chimeze Onzulike, and Vincent Adewoye and Chima Akachuku. Nigeria has been drawn in Group A alongside Ghana, Uganda, and of course Malawi. And that will be all on Sports News. Thank you for watching. Back to you, Kimba.
The United Nations Libya envoy Ghassan Salame has called on foreign powers to stop interfering in Libya's civil war. On the eve of peace talks in Berlin, Mr. Salame says that foreign support of proxy groups in the conflict has created a vicious cycle of violence. However, he says that he's optimistic about the negotiations. It comes after 9 months of conflict between the powerful General Khalifa Haftar and the United Nations-backed government in the capital Tripoli. A truce was announced earlier this month between General Haftar and the governments of National Accord, the GNA. But both sides have blamed each other for reported breaches of the agreement. An attempt to broker a lasting ceasefire broke down last week at a summit in Moscow. Security forces in Lebanon have used tear gas and water cannons to disperse crowds of anti-government protesters trying to reach Martyrs Square. the hub of a month-long protest movement calling for changes to the country's political and financial systems. Demonstrators set out from various spots in the capital, Beirut, in a march towards the city centre under the slogan, "We won't pay the price." But before they all converged near the road leading to the parliament, dozens of the protesters flung rocks, traffic signs and tree branches at security forces guarding the institution. The protest movement rocked Lebanon since October 17th was reviewed this week over delays in forming a new cabinet to address the country's growing economic crisis. No progress appears to have been made towards a final lineup, which protesters demand be comprised of independent experts and exclude all traditional political parties. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex will no longer use the title His and Her Royal Highness after announcing they would step back from their roles as senior members of the royal family. According to a statement from Buckingham Palace, Prince Harry and Meghan will be required to step back from their royal duties, including military appointments, and no longer represent the Queen. They will also not receive public funds for royal duties. The couple say that they intend to repay £2.4 million of taxpayers' money for the refurbishment of Frogmore Cottage, which will remain their UK family home. The Queen, in a statement, says, following many months of conversations and more recent discussions, she was pleased that together we have found a constructive and supportive way forward for my grandson and his family. The new arrangement comes into effect in spring this year. And the main news again. The police in Kano today uncovered illegal orphanage suspected to be involved in child trafficking and kidnapping in Kano, and also rescued 27 children from the facility. Also today, President Muhammadu Buhari met with Nigerians in the United Kingdom ahead of the UK-Africa Summit on Monday at a meeting which was facilitated by the Nigeria Diaspora Commission in London. The president received the title belt from British-Nigerian-born heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua. And that wraps it up on the news at 10 tonight. I want to thank you so much indeed for being a part of it. On behalf of all of us here, have a splendid night rest and a great weekend ahead. I am Gimba Umar. Good night.